Early one November morning, Thomas the Tank Engine set off to collect his coaches. He was taking some children to the first Thanksgiving pageant. Fortunately, he had overslept through his alarm clock and was running late. "Oh, come along, we're rather late. Oh, come along, we're rather late," he puffed to his coaches, Annie and Clarabelle. We're coming along. Don't be anxious, they twittered to each other. But when Thomas reached the station, he had a big surprise. None of the children were there. "Where are they?" said Thomas. "Beep, beep! Where are they?" he cried in alarm. "I don't know, old boy," said his driver. "I'll just ask the station master." Thomas's driver went inside the station master, but the station master came out. "I'm sorry," said the station master, "but the children had to go by bus. The rails were torn up deliberately. I'm sorry." "Bust my buffers," said Thomas. "What a blow." "Would tear up Thomas's branch lines," said Annie and Clarabelle. "I don't know," said the driver, "but we'd better find out who. We'll go into the big station and speak to Sir Topham Hatt about this." So Thomas took Annie and Clarabelle to see Sir Topham Hatt. "Thank you for telling me, Thomas. I have been getting reports about our branch lines being ripped up. It isn't right for my railway to be ripped up deliberately. I have hired a tank engine from the mainland to investigate this matter." "What's his name?" asked Thomas. "Ryan," said Sir Topham Hatt. "Brian, sir?" No, Ryan." "Oh. You know, Brian does rhyme with Ryan." "I know, Thomas. Ryan should be here any minute now. His nickname is Sherlock Domes." "Sherlock Gnomes?" No, Domes." "I see," said Thomas. Then they heard a whistle, and a purple tank engine who looked exactly like Thomas puffed into Knapford Station. "Hello," said Sir Topham Hatt. "You must be Ryan, and you must be Sir Topham Hatt, and you must be Thomas." "How did you know?" said Thomas. "That's easy. Everyone knows Thomas the Tank Engine from television." Thomas was flattered. "My name is Ryan," said Ryan, "a.k.a. Sherlock Domes, and I will help you with the investigation of your branch line." "Thank you," said Thomas. "We can use all the help we can get. Plus the other branch lines," added Ryan, "that are being torn up on the railway. Now, we need to look for some clues." "Right," said Sir Topham Hatt. "Let's get started." Thomas and Ryan went to Farquhar Station, where Thomas first heard that the rails were torn up, and asked the station master. The station master told Ryan's driver about George the Steamroller and how there had been some construction and how they mysteriously disappeared. The station master also stated that a vegetable train needed to be taken down that same line. "I would like to give that steamroller a piece of his mind," said Thomas the Tank Engine angrily. "I'm going to take that vegetable train and have a word with him." "No, Thomas," said Ryan severely. "Violence doesn't solve anything. Conflict only makes things worse." Thomas was cross. "Let me come with you and help you investigate." "No, thank you, Ryan. I got this," said Thomas. Thomas headed down the line that led to Crow's Farm Crossing. And there was trouble. Thomas didn't realize that the signalman had fallen asleep. He had left the point switched to a different line. "I'd like to teach him a lesson," said Thomas. Too late now, said his driver. Thomas's wheels crunched a ton, and they crashed straight through a barn. Luckily, no one was hurt, but chickens began to scatter everywhere. Great, said Thomas. I guess the yoke's on me. Never mind, said his driver. I'll go back to the farmhouse and phone for help. The Sodor steamworks, Sir Topham Hatt spoke severely to Thomas. You should have listened to Ryan, he said, and now you have caused even more confusion and delay. Sorry, sir, said Thomas. I'm sorry, Ryan, he said to Ryan. I didn't want you to... I took what you said the wrong way. That's all right, Thomas. And guess what? While you were being repaired, I found some more clues. And the man behind it. He's George's owner. George's owner, said Victor. Visiting fireboxes. What's his name? Professor, began Ryan. Priority, he finished. We'll catch him tonight with George. How we do that? Said Thomas. Elementary, my dear Thomas. You wait and see. That night at Crow's Farm Crossing, George and the men and Professor Priority began ripping up the rails, but George hadn't had enough. I won't do it, I tell you, he shouted. Don't shout at me, roared Professor Priority. You'll do when I say it. I beg to differ, said a voice. Well, yeah, you beg I differ. Then Professor Priority realized who it was. Crumbs, he said. The fuzz. That's right, said Ryan. You, sir, are under arrest. I didn't do anything, Ryan, honest. George, are you all right? Yes, said George. Thank you for rescuing me, Thomas. Who are you? This is my new friend, said Thomas proudly, Ryan. Next morning, Thomas went to collect his passengers. George and Professor Priority had been put behind bars, but luckily for George, he was given 500 hours community service in helping building a new branch line where Ryan was going to be the goods engine. It's good to be back, said Thomas. We're glad to have you back, said Annie and Clarabelle together. Thomas arrived at the station, and there to his relief were all his passengers and all the children. We had a fun ride with Bertie, but we missed our train rides with you. You, Thomas, are a really useful engine. Thank you, said Thomas. Thank you for everything that you do. You're our hero and our role model. Thomas could only agree.